Hey guys, here with homework review of, excuse me, 8.6, the two-word problems and the extra practice on solving. Thank you to those of you that filled out the Google survey. I apologize. Here are responses. One looked good, which is important because something like one is what you would see on potentially on tomorrow's quiz. Okay, two I know is challenging, and I just wanted to put that out there to put a little twist on it. So I'll definitely go over number two. Three was good. Four, we need a little bit of help. So I'm going to go over two and four. Okay, and then I have all these questions down here that I'll go over as well. All right, so let me flip over here and let's start with two. So if you're able to get one, you want to set up two very similar. Okay, but the twist here is that instead of solving for how long it would take you to do it together, they give you that. Okay, and instead you have to solve for how long it would take you to stuff the envelopes and how long it would take your friend. So let's start by saying let's let x equal hours it would take you. Okay, so number of hours takes you to do the job. So you would be 1 over x. So one job over x hours. Okay, your friend, all right, your friend, it says you can stuff envelopes twice as fast as your friend. So if you take x number of hours, your friend must be 2 times x. And then together you can stuff it in 4.5 hours. Now, what's a little tricky about this problem is that you're not actually going to use the 6750, okay, because we want to talk about one job, right? So if you were doing the job, it would take you X hours. If your friend was doing the job, it would take you 2 times X hours. If you together are doing the job, it's taking you 4.5 hours. You want to keep the same number of jobs, right? So the top is still going to be 1 and the bottom is going to be 4.5. Okay, so then we set up our equation. So your rate plus your friend's rate equals your rate together. Okay, now two kind of ways to solve this. If you're doing it like the video showed you, then what you want to do is just add the 2 on the left. Common denominator is 2x, so this right here needs a 2. So we're going to have 2 over 2x plus 1 over 2x equals 1 over 4.5. I can now combine the left side because they have the same denominator. So it's going to be 3 over 2x is equal to 1 over 4.5. Now at this point, some of you guys commented you weren't sure how to flip it. All that means is you flip both sides, right? That means that you would flip it like this. Now it doesn't work as well in this problem as it did in number one because of where the variable is. So instead of flipping, all I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to cross multiply like that. And I'm going to get 2x is equal to 3 times 4.5, which 3 times 4.5 is 13.5. And so that means that x is equal to 6.75. Well, if x is 6.75, that's how long it takes you, and your friend is twice that. And we actually got that right here at 2x. So u is 6.75 hours. Your friend is twice that, which is right there, 13.5 hours. And there we go. Okay. All right, let's look at number 4. So this was just more practice with solving. First thing you always want to do is find your LCD. In order to find your LCD, you need to factor the denominators. So this factors x plus 2 times x minus 2. So then our LCD, I'm going to run out of room here. Our LCD is x plus 2 times x minus 2. That takes care of this. The next one is an x minus 2, we already have it. The next one is an x plus 2, we already have it. So take that LCD, multiply the entire, so both sides of the equation by the LCD. And I'm going to do it over 1. Because what I'm doing is I'm going to take this entire thing that I'm multiplying and distribute it to each term. All right. So I'm going to have this 3x, x plus 2, x minus 2, all over x plus 2, x minus 2, plus 1 times x plus 2, x minus 2, over x minus 2, equals 2 times x plus 2, x minus 2, over the LCD. Now, some of you guys may have got comfortable with this where you're not writing that step out because you're already seeing what's going to cancel, and that's fantastic. But I wanted to write it out so you can see it. Remember, our goal at this step was to get rid of denominators. Well, that cancels out, that cancels out. We no longer have a denominator in the first term. Those two terms cancel out. We no longer have a denominator in the second term. These two and these two, right? So all we're left with is numerators, which is what our goal was. So now we have 3x plus x plus 2 on the left side equals 2. What did I do here? Oh, I apologize. Let me fix this down here. This was only supposed to have an x minus 2. Okay. X minus 2. So I have an x minus 2. Okay, I accidentally put an extra x minus 2 in the denominator on that right side. Okay, so again, we got rid of the denominators. We're left with this. We can solve this now. So the left side becomes 4x plus 2. Right side becomes 2x minus 4. It's got all the x's to one side, everything else to the other. So we're going to have 2x is equal to negative 6. So x is equal to negative 3. And we just go back and make sure it's not a restriction. We plug it back in. It does not make any of the denominators equal 0. So we're good. Okay, questions 2 and 4. Let's see. We covered 2. So we got 2 times 3x plus 3. So something went wrong right here. So hopefully whoever's comment that was able to figure that out. If not, send me a quick note. 1 over 2. Thank you for the good feedback there. 1 over 4. 1 over 2. 1 over 2. I went over how to flip it if you need to. Remember, you don't have to flip it. That's just one way to solve it. If you get it to that point, you can just cross multiply. You go over number 2, done. Now, here's the one thing I said earlier, and I'll say it again. On the quiz tomorrow, you're likely to see something like number 1, okay, not number 2. Number 2 is a little, because it's more challenging and because we didn't, spend a lot of time on it. We spent 1 day on it. I'm not going to throw something like number 2 at you, okay? But it is a good question. It is potentially something, a twist that you might see on the SAT and ACT whenever those eventually happen. But number 1 is definitely something more like what you would see tomorrow, okay? That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks, guys.